Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
Yeah, it is Tuesday, my dudes, and a happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. And it is definitely a Tuesday morning. I don't know.
It is.
Able to be a bit more communicative this morning than we were on Friday. Friday was a hard show for us to do. Having to do that show with the knowledge that we had while maintaining the respect and the privacy of Cammie and Jaron was tough. Because I was in desperate need of some good old-fashioned Ironworx therapy.
Yeah, big time. And it was tough. Thank goodness Andrew got me off on a kratom rant, which is something I am very passionate about. So that helped sidetrack my thought processes into something where I wouldn't just be, locked into like, what the hell? Because that's pretty much where I was from Thursday night going on. And, just grappling this last few days without a doubt. And what's really strange is having to go deal with, not having to go deal with, that's a terrible way to say it, but Friday afternoon we had a birthday party for my granddaughter and did the egg dyeing fun for, the upcoming Sunday event. So keeping that going, but people kept asking me, what's wrong? They could tell I was definitely not in a good place and a little off and, eyes puffy and all that. And trying to explain to them who Bob was, to me, nearly impossible because, they haven't been in this family with me for the last 8 years. So, yeah, a little strange. Never had a situation like that where, my own personal family can't understand where I'm at with the situation because they're not familiar with it. I don't know. It was really strange. But it was great that we were doing what we were doing, the birthday and the egg dyeing, because all that energy definitely kept some of the thoughts that could have been not so fun at bay. And again, we all know, there's a lot more to this than most people do, So it's got multiple layers to all of it, not just the basic, oh, you lost somebody. It's a whole lot more, We spoke with Bob about that very topic so often that has been on my mind more than anything.
Yep, me too.
Since this happened has been those conversations and what he knows now. What he fucking knows now, man. Yeah.
I've asked.
Do what?
I've
What'd
asked
you
him
say,
to
Zach?
reach out. I've asked quite a few times, Bobo, where are you, dude? What's going on? Tell me.
Right, I did it. I did
Can't.
it. I did the same thing. Oh man.
Stoners
You know
don't
what's
remember
funny?
our dreams, though. It
Right,
sucks.
right. Friday morning when we were getting ready to go live and my power did what it did, my first thought was that was Bob going through because it was very strange. Like I told you guys Friday, it wasn't a normal just brownout. It was really weird. But that was the instantaneous thought that went through my heart, not my mind, but my heart when that happened. Was he was trying to tell us where he is. So
Yeah, I've been trying to, to try to explain to other people who Bob was to me. And the closest analogy I can come up with is he is my Dumbledore, dude.
Great.
If I were Harry Potter, he would be my Dumbledore. He wasn't, just a teacher or, like my hero. He was a friend. He was a father figure. He was like all this stuff and like one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, on top of that big giant heart that he just shared with everybody. It was, it's hard to put words to Bob. It is larger than life, man.
As
Yeah,
evidenced by his heart.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, no need for anybody at all to apologize for any emotional thing. You guys, we're all human, and we were touched.
In so many, in different languages. Swahili, Hindi, German, all these different, I can't even understand what they're saying.
That's wild. That's wild.
All given little short memorials for Bob. We lost a big member of the truther community. The ones that were speaking English, I saw one girl wearing like the Sherpa and the thing over her head. I mean, I was blown away. Just so blown away by the reach. I had no idea that. I mean, I knew, the topic was huge and all across the plane. But I wasn't aware that the Globebusters, and Bob reached into different languages like that. I mean, I knew Spanish,
doubt.
Iru, and all that, of course. But I mean, somebody's been translating Globebusters to a lot of different languages. It seems like. Yeah, I was just so blown away. And there's been all kinds of love for Bob from people you wouldn't. I didn't think were human. That's how big of an impact Bob had. I mean, how many people can make an internet troll act like a human being?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Love there to Cammy
I
in
love
chat
him.
too.
Yeah.
Got to talk to
Big
Jaron
time.
last night. Those two are amazing. I lost my bunny on New Year's Day and just got over it. So I can't even imagine. But they are just both being so strong. It's amazing.
Well, I have to tell you, the energy in this house is unreal. It's all, you can feel the love that's being sent to this house. It's not last night, but the night before was the first night any of us really slept. Besides little short, doze off and then wake right back up. It's just been over. I mean, a lot of it's been emotions, and but just the energy here. It's like been weird, different. Yeah, it's been pretty overwhelming. All the love and support, and Cammie's phone is just ridiculous. Sunday we had a no phone, no internet pretty much day. She just needed a day off and not looking at all the messages and everything. No, Liz, Bob didn't want people to know. He was, I was very proud. Not just proud, but he didn't want all the pity and the empathy. He didn't want that. And yeah, I mean, I'm a lot the same way. When I have things wrong with me, I'm going through something. I try not to let other people know about it. I don't want to, be a burden in any way or sort. I know it's silly, but some guys are like that, we are.
I'm just typing away to everybody in chat. I don't mean to be so quiet, guys. I'm here, I promise. I'm just saying hey, as I do. And for those of you who may have been late to our show, quote unquote, in the bigger scheme of things and may not understand, my big thing used to be giving everybody a hug in chat with commas, because that's what we used to do on AIM. And it don't work like that in these chats. Apparently, it makes it just disappear, and I didn't know that. So for the longest time, I was just typing away, and I mean, I'm talking like for probably a year. I'm just typing away and not realizing none of my messages were going through, because I would put multiple brackets around for a big old hug. So yeah, I was making that shit disappear big time. So that's why you all get what you get now, with a nickname or whatever in the big exclamation marks, because that's the best way I can come up with to give you guys an electronic hug in the chat. So now you know. I'm not yelling at you. I'm hugging you. Oh. Oh, good, Liz. Liz, finally. I just saw your message. I finally saw it. So I gave her a little kitten hug there over on the Telegram where I can do the gifts. So the kittens are, their eyes are open, which is like now, just happened yesterday, day before at the most. And Mom is letting us pick them up now without putting her hand out gently on my paw or back of my hand to let me know that, I will take you out, Mug. And I held two yesterday for about 2 or 3 seconds and then let Michelle get a little time, and they started mewling, and Mom came out of her hole and gently put her paw on my leg again, let me know I will destroy you. So I put her back. Looks like we have at least one male and one female so far that we can tell, but the other one is still kind of small and hard to tell. So, but it most likely will be the same set, I'm guessing. It's 2 females and a male like we got the first time around. So could be wrong. Don't know how all that works.
Now, Cicada, you enjoy the celebration. Give all the locals our best as well. And
Absolutely,
have a great time.
man. You have a blast at that festival, my friend. I'm glad you stopped in, my friend. Absolutely. And we need to get you in here one morning. Come tell us about that festival next Friday morning if you have a minute.
There is a festival. I don't know if it's every year or if it changes but it was a festival over in India, the Festival of Colors, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And they all get together and they get painted. They throw this certain kind of paint. It's not like, paint.
It's actually powder.
Mm-hmm. Okay, powder then. Yeah. And they color themselves in these beautiful colors. I would love to see something like that. That's like one of those bucket list items. To just I don't know about getting all colored up and everything, but it'd be an interesting thing to see.
I mean, I'd probably get colored up once.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that was on my birthday last month.
My eyes get really easily funky with things that get in them, potentially dust, dirt, things like that. I've got eyelashes that not only don't keep out things they should, they jump into my eyes and hang out and become very hard to find because they're almost kind of clear. You know, I'm so white I'm clear. Yes, I am. Thank you very much. So I probably would not go to that festival unless I had, like, I guess, appropriate eye gear on. I don't know. I've seen it, and, you know, lots of videos about it. They actually sell that stuff in some children's sections of stores, we've noticed of late as we're shopping for the grandkids. And, you know, threaten each other with who's going to be the one that gets us disowned by the in-laws by giving the kids such a thing to throw all over the house or the yard or whatever. But it's going to happen. That'll probably be my baptism in powder. Is when we finally do buy it for them. Because, you know, Papa has to be the target with water balloons and sponges filled with water and paint and everything else. Wait, what was it you got me with yesterday? Oh, there's this cool little thing new out. I'm sure I missed it just because I'm old and don't have toys anymore. But it's like liquid chalk in a big tall bottle with a roller applicator on the end of it. You fill it up with water, shake it up, and you can freaking paint with a roller brush of chalk. It was pretty fucking amazing. We had a blast.
Huh.
And of course, she painted me with it because, you know.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. Right. That's what you do. I think it's still on one of my shoes. It's coming off as it dries, though. That's what I knew. It was just chalk, powdery stuff. So. But yeah, that definitely getting through the weekend, having them around for Friday and again on Sunday definitely helped. And I was definitely sending a lot of that energy to Cammie and Jaron, Zach, all of you guys up there. Excuse me.
It's
Cammie says, "Don't be a baby, Walter. She'll make you some all-natural paint."
All right.
Yeah, I have the whole eye thing. My eyelashes are thick and all, but I don't know. I can't have anything like mirror. I can't even go in the water anymore, like underwater, mostly because of my ears, but my eyes, I don't know. They don't like really anything touching them. I can't touch my eyeball. You know how most people can touch their eyeball? Yeah, I can't come close. My eyes, they don't. I don't know.
Here's something I always thought was kind of. You've all heard that, you know, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Do you know the eyes are one of those organs that are very sympathetic or empathetic even? Dixie is super sensitive with her eye sympathy. Like if she sees somebody's eyes watering, her eyes will start to water. It's really crazy the way it works. I was just thinking of those sympathetic, empathetic organs.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like yawning.
Yeah, I get that too. You know, when you like seeing, like even like a commercial, I'm bad, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, when I'm real emotional, especially the last few days, it triggers a lot easier. But dude, yeah, I've always been that guy that's like, not crying, but I'll tear up at like the commercial, the insurance commercial.
The Hallmark.
Not the puppies or the kids in Africa. Those I have to turn off. But just like the insurance one, where the young guy and the dad are talking and about it and da 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 and all that stuff, and I'll start tearing up. You know, even when I'm not super emotional like I am right now. Just a normal old day. Yeah. I don't know what it is about the eyes. When I see people in tears, though, it just starts, they start watering up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a woman or a child or an old man. Someone my age crying, I have it, but it's more like I have to show, strength. It's weird how it happens. But yeah, especially if an old man's crying, I lose it. I don't like that.
Yeah. It's like what has moved this calloused man with all of his years of life to the point that this is what's making him break. Shout out to Walnut. Thereof the Walnut and Walnut Report. Guys, check out the Walnut and Walnut Report. That's good shit. Good to see you there, Walnut. It appears we're going to have another breakless show today.
Yeah, I saw Cammy. I'm sorry, Lord, I'm reading things in chat. I saw Liz ask the other day about the lack of our back few shows there on the Ironworx. I'm sorry, on TFR. Trying to read too many things here. Not really sure, Liz. I guess we could reach out to Lucky or, oh, wow, I think Lucky might be in the chat, actually.
I'm not even on TFR.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. But yeah, we're not really sure what's going on, except, just something. They're probably working on it. I will definitely reach out now that I see her and find out where those shows are, because I would like to, well, at this point, probably not ever be able to add a description, because who knows what we talked about now. I never take notes anymore. I just kind of do it on the cuff after we leave the show, throw the notes in there, and there it is. So, but anyway, I'll put up something once they're in there for you guys to go see what that was about. But most likely you're correct. And I just realized I have a fan going in the background, which I never do. So I will take a break and go turn that off. I was trying to figure out what the noise I'm hearing is in my ear, and now I know. I will return. Give me about a minute and a half.
No, I didn't mean to be unmuted there. I have a refrigerator out here in the garage is clicking.
Uh-oh.
On the back, yeah.
It's a compressor.
Is that Freon, maybe?
I think your compressor's about to go out.
Yeah. Gonna have to get that taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing as I walked away. It sounds like a compressor, man, unfortunately. Now, it also could possibly be low on Freon and shaking one of those tubes enough to click against the side, but I don't know about that.
Is it still, can you hear it from where I'm sitting now?
Nope.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, Liz, that's what I saw last time I checked, was that Magic Musk was the last one that I was able to save that for, or whatever. I see you there in chat, Jeremy, and I asked you, did you see my text? And then I didn't even see your answer, so I'm going to go check my text and see. Yes, you did. All right, brother, I appreciate that. Sorry things have gotten a little disjointed. I've been in a silly on my part, I understand, but I'm just one of these people who believes in my principles sometimes to a fault. And so when I stand on those principles, sometimes it bites me in my own ass, and that's kind of what happened this time. So, but I had been a subscriber to a certain little video editing software when it launched. Literally when it launched. Zach, Josh sent me a link when we were trying to figure this whole YouTube thing out early on, and while it wasn't really beneficial for that area of making a big old video presentation, it was great for making little promos and little sound clips and things like that. So I played around with it. It evolved, it changed, it became a little more weighty, a little more editorial. That's where we found the Gravity song, the Cheyenne song. It was one of the songs I had as one of the marketing or whatever copyrighted things I could use wherever I wanted because I was a beta tester. I had a paid subscription from early on, and because of that, I was getting the special yearly rate for this app that did grow a lot after, I got into it. Now, did it grow to almost 3 times the cost of what I was paying per year? Not even close. Not even double what I was paying a year. In fact, it was barely worth what I was paying per year for it. But my per year cost was always appearing on my cellular phone bill and being paid through that cellular phone bill as an automated thing that happens every month, the way it's set up. I don't know if Shell did all that stuff. And I would get the little notice coming through my Google accounts because it was an app on my phone to start with. So that's where it's all set up through. Well, this year something came through saying that the payment didn't go through or whatever. And so I start sending them emails going, why? It's supposed to be on my phone bill. And so about 25 emails later of me going, this should not have been a thing I'm even having to deal with at all. For the last 8 years I've had this, it hasn't been a problem until this year. Suddenly it's a problem. What's going on? Oh, we're putting in a ticket. We're putting in a ticket. That's what I kept being told. We're putting in a ticket until it wasn't available anymore. Now it's canceled. Now I'd have to pay 3 times to get that account back. And I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, sorry, just a little venting on that idiocy. That's why I haven't got your video ready, Jeremy, is because of my stupidity. So I will find one. I've looked at a few this weekend. I think I have the one I want to use lined up. While I like hit film and I'll play around with it, I don't think that's the one for me. It's just, I'm not making a movie. There's a lot there I don't really need. And I know I get what I need, but even what I can get isn't what I'm looking to do.
Hit film's changed so much. They've got so many different versions these days. Like the new version.
Oh, really? Well, the last time I looked, it was just 3 or 4 different setups, and that was about it. So I'll go check it out.
Well, no, I think that's the way it is now, and it's all subscription based. I mean, you can get the free version still.
Yeah, that's kind of what everything is.
But you end up with a lot of watermarks because all the cool shit's locked down.
That's just one of the ones I looked at this week, or this weekend. It was okay, you pay, I don't know, you pay $100 a year or whatever. Or you pay, it was $80 a year or something. Or you pay $100 and it's for lifetime. Oh, well, God, who wouldn't do the lifetime one? Then underneath in little small print, to get all the effects and all the shit, you pay $20 a month subscription. I'm like, so you're paying $20 a month for a subscription that I had to pay you $100 to have access to? You're out of your fucking mind. Oh, sorry, I'm cussing again. I'm really trying, Travis. I'm trying. I've become quite lax, I realize, and I will try to rein in my potty mouth. Liz, where's that jar at? But anyway, I will get that video done, man. It will happen. And my plan actually was just to play the song today, and that's why I threw on my headphones and really gave it an awesome listen and need to get some things adjusted there. So it will happen. We'll get it done this week. I feel it. Feel it.
I just wanted to let people know, for anyone in the area, Saturday at the park across from the Shriner Center in Greenville, we're having a get-together for Bobo. I think it's from, you can show up at 9 a.m. I think it's from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have, we can only get the small shelter. I'm not sure. I don't know how many it's supposed to hold or whatnot. But we have it all day. And Dr. Law is going to be there cooking. I'm sure there'll be quite a few people there. But yeah, that'll be Saturday, the 15th, Herd Klotz Park. I can't believe I remembered that. Yeah, it's right across from the Greenville Shrine Center, right across the street. But yeah, we're having the Bob Nodell Memorial Meetup. And then Sunday on Globebusters, we're going to be having the Globebusters Memorial. Yeah, they were setting it up yesterday, and they were planning on having it at Sunday starting at 2. And Cammy's like, well, Globebuster starts at 3. And I don't want to miss either of these things. But anyway, we can move it to Saturday. And yeah, of course, Nathan is so awesome. Commercial sound and video. Probably seen him out there in all the chats and stuff. Just an amazing guy. Always there to help. I think he's been a part of just about every Flattoberfest almost. And like Solar Return, anything Karen B is thrown out here on the East Coast, Nathan has. Yeah, if you don't know what he looks like, he was the guy running around like crazy, carrying all kinds of electrical cords and audio cords, and yeah, just really helping make sure everything ran so smooth. But yeah, that'll be Saturday at the park and Sunday on the Globebuster show. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's still really hard. It is. I mean, it took me till last night to even want to talk to anybody. I needed some Walton Josh last night, though. I just needed it. I couldn't go too long.
It was good to hang out with Jaron, too.
Yeah.
He's been on my mind and heart a lot with all this.
He's a strong young man. He definitely gets
I
that.
heard that last night as we played. I definitely heard that with his reaction to Andrew and I's condolences. So, yeah, he definitely
He's like
standing
Bob.
strong.
He had that strength, you know.
Right.
Showing strength for his mom, and I, you know, and he's human. He is. Jaron has those, you know, crying bouts like we all have, but he wants to, you know, he knows his dad wouldn't want him doing that. He knows it. So he's been really trying, you know, to be strong for his mom and for, you know, just everybody around. He doesn't, for his dad, he knows his dad doesn't want him to be so sad and upset, and he wants him to enjoy life and just remember all the good times. And that's so hard at first. But you know, me and Jaron have been talking a lot about this and just about feelings and how they're okay. It's okay to have feelings, no matter what feelings they are. You know,
and to talk about
them. Yeah, and talk and let them out.
Mm-hmm.
Do not hold these things in. And I learned that a long time ago. A good scream can help.
The releasing of anger can better any medicine under the sun.
I used to, at this one job I had, there was this crew that was working for me that would, and they weren't like bad people, but they messed up all the time. And this one guy, I was like training him so I could take a vacation just so the machine could run while I wasn't there on our crew. And he did something like, he messed the machine up good. Like, call the supervisor, let him know machine's not running anymore tonight because I'm scared to turn it on because it's making some weird grinding noises like inside the machine. He left it, you know, big giant rollers, magnetic rollers that are like 16 inches in diameter and probably like 18 inches across. Big rolls, just solid metal rolls of, you know, with magnetic things on the outside. And they had these little pins, they had little holes bored into them, and then these pins you could put in that stuck out, and then you can slide the plate onto that. That was like your guide. So all the plates were nice and straight and even. You had, these little pins to guide your plate on for you. Well, you got to take the pins out after you put the plate on. And he didn't take the pin out, any of the 3 pins out, sheared 2 of the pins off. And the other one was like, I don't know, it was in there somewhere causing all this grinding to happen. Yeah, the machine wasn't starting. But that was the first time I ever did it. I think I was like 22 maybe. And I walked out the front door, and it was like, I was working 3 to 11s, and it was like after our last break. So it was like 9 something, early, like 9:10, 9:15. And because I would always send them to break while I'd be working on the machine, then I'd get it going. But he was still working on it. I was like, all right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't start the machine yet. I'll check everything. I just got to go and have a quick cigarette. I was only taking like a 5-minute break. I was trying to get stuff done. And I come back in, and he's over there like scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on and this and that. And the other 2 are just over there shaking their head, looking at me. I was like, oh no. I found out what he did and all that stuff, and then I'm getting ready to go call my supervisor, and I walk outside and just scream like a primal roar. Never yelled like that before in my life. And I felt like instantly better after I let that out. It was so weird. And I've only done that like twice since then. Had to. Haven't done it in a very long time. But yeah, that primal roar, that it just came out of me. I had like no control over it. But it's weird how even that can relieve some of that stress.
Well, I discovered through the music I prefer a long time ago that if I raged through my music, I didn't take a tire iron to my car and didn't lose things I like to keep around. So, yeah, I changed my way of externalizing my anger to be more vocal, less physical. It changed my life quite a bit. And then along came a band called Pantera. Love them or like them. I fucking despise Phil Anselmo now. Sorry, Liz. But at the time, those words spoke mightily to me. As I said, the releasing of anger can better any medicine under the sun. And it definitely works to this day. I'll be in a rage and grab my guitar and start chunking out some heavy right-hand riffs. And before you know it, all that stuff's gone into the ether somewhere.
I see someone in chat, sorry, asking a question. Could you feel Bob these last few days? I think the spirit remains for several days before the journey. I know I have. And I mean, that could be me, but I definitely feel his presence around here. It was,
oh, yeah, speaking of.
Yeah, hard. It's hard not to, really. It's almost like every thought you have or any question you put out there, it's like, yeah, I think of what Bob would say, or maybe, I don't know. It's really, that's one thing. I've been slacking lately when it comes to physics and science and stuff like that. I haven't been putting forth the effort that I used to. It's been hard lately. I mean, not just, sorry. Not just losing Bob, but seeing Bob in a weak state. My mind hasn't been focused on that kind of stuff.
Right.
this is definitely lit that fire back under my ass that I've needed. That Bob used to light all the time, you know, from all the stuff I would learn from him. It would make me want to go out and research that and then try to even push further into that research and show him that I'm, you know, learning from him and that he's inspiring, you know, and I wanted to learn so much. I wanted to be able to, you know, speak like Bob. Not just know it, but passionately know it, inside and out. I mean, the effort he put forth for the Glowbuster shows, especially when they were great, I got to see a lot of, you know, the preparation for a lot of great shows. And it wasn't just, you know, hey, you know, 10 minutes before the show, him looking at something and be like, okay, we'll talk. No, Bob had it all planned out like days before. And
yeah, he did. It used to drive him nuts when he would come over here with us and we'd have our little quiet time. And he'd be like trying to fill the dead air.
Anytime there was dead air, Bob was so uncomfortable.
I know. I know it used to drive him nuts, but I used to chuckle inside because I knew it was. And we're all playing chicken, trying not to break the silence. And here he goes. So yeah, it was great. So, but yeah, dude, beyond preparation. Yeah, definitely. And as far as those inspirations, and man, I can't even tell you the number of rabbit holes I went down after watching either a show with him or having him hang out with us. Or even better, when I would be in Oregon having to miss shows dealing with my mom and her health issues, and Bob would fill in for me. And I would go back and hear the things you guys would bring up. And so immediately as I'm sitting there, it's a lot easier when you're listening back to a show to pause it and then go look stuff up, you know, and then when it's live and you don't want to miss something in the conversation, digging in the rabbit hole. So yeah, he sent me down quite a few. This is an amazing picture. I don't know if you guys are seeing it all the way up there yet, but yeah, this was pretty mind-blowing when I saw this.
That was like right when it happened too.
Explain this to everybody there, Zach. Your electromagnetic verbiage is a lot better than mine.
Yeah,
is this the Schumann or is this the?
I think so. I never really looked too far.
Then we need to get Cammy on here then, right?
Yeah,
I know it's her
wheelhouse. Girl for this. But yeah, I think that's the Schumann resonance. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Oh, it's not letting me. Usually YouTube lets me zoom in.
I don't know.
But yeah, I believe that's a Schumann. Yeah, it looks like the whole electromagnetic field just kind of
broke.
Picked up or stopped or broke. Yeah. Sherry Ives wrote on that she made that picture. That's how I found it. I think Bob broke the firmament when he left.
I figured Sherry had made it. So shout out to Sherry without a doubt. Haven't seen her in a minute. A couple of shows. Let me see. How do I stop sharing without hanging up the call? There it is. Well, yes, Brian is verifying that is the Schumann. When I go to the Space Weather Channel page, or I usually go to Mr. BBB333, it's usually a lot of crap I'm looking at, you know, so just knowing it by one look like that, it's not me at all. Cammy, I'm sure, is telling me every detail about it while she's looking at it. I'm just reading things in chat, trying to play catch up. I've been a little negligent today, guys. My apologies. Wow. Oh, wow. Walnut. You just broke me, man. So that silver cord you're talking about, I'm not sure what book you're reading. I probably have read it. Most likely. If you have the book title, drop it there in chat as well. Walnut. Walnut. How about something to drink first before I attempt to read? Walnut says, the book I'm reading mentions a silver cord that tethers the spirit to the body in this plane or world. We drift while sleeping, astral projection style. At death, the silver cord breaks or is actually cut by Cathesis. Cathesis? How do you say her name? She's the time goddess who is spinning our lives out on a web. Anyway, so reading up on many things throughout my life, trying to understand how I was doing the things I was doing, what I was doing, what all that meant, what the silver cord, you're calling it, I used to call it a silver thread, meant, and, you know, how I could lose it at times, which would happen unbelievably, even though it's attached to you. It is possible to lose your way. I've done it. Quite terrifying. Anyway, I'm trying to think, man. I read a book. Oh, it was Stephen King. Who else would it be? God almighty. I read a book about Stephen King about all this stuff years later, and it kind of really got into. I don't want to do any spoilers here. How do I do this? Damn it, Zach. Okay, so the book is called Insomnia. And in it, this elderly guy starts having these problems with his sleep, as we all do, getting older. And he starts having these weird dreams. Now, some of us had those weird dreams when we were quite young. But in those dreams, he does, basically, long story short, he starts becoming aware of what he calls these little doctors who are cutting people's cords, those silver cords. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Go read the book. It's really good, really entertaining. But that idea of keeping up with that silver thread when you're doing astral work is like key. It is to me anyway. Once I learned what it was, I knew I wouldn't ever let myself lose sight of it again. I think it's part of that whole thing, how we coalesce into this 3D realm, how we get here into this 3D body. You know, that's how we're passing through that star and getting here. And that silver cord connects us to it somehow. And interesting that the silver color of it is very similar to the moon light color, but not quite the same, which I think speaks a lot to that whole moon trap thing after we pass. So probably sure, or not sure, but I would almost think that what we just looked at, the Schumann resonance, was Bob's breaking free of all that bullshit, not playing any of their games. You know what I mean?
Or
oh no, we have one that can see.
We have one that can see.
Especially since I bet you he knew exactly where we'd be looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. That small string of silence was for you, Pablo.
Right, without a doubt. Yes, 17 Joy. Castaneda also talks about the tethering cords. Oh man, it just came and went in a brief flash of the word. Oh man. Not adjustment points, not there's a word for it. And it's gone now. Damn it. Tether points, that's not it either. But basically in the Castaneda books, it talks about those connection places and how it isn't only that silver cord that attaches us to source. There are other attachments that happen throughout life, both willing and unwilling. And that's where you get people that have attached their shit to you to suck your energy. and get your energy from your whatever, and they're getting it that way. And that's how they learn to get their energy, is by sucking it off other people. And that's those vampiric type souls that we meet. And so that idea of these tethering points, is that it? That is not it. Tethering point. No. But anyway, he likens it to like when we're in this amorphous blob state of energy, and it's literally these connection points that we can willingly alter, both the connection point itself, what's connected to it, what we choose to let come through that connection point. All those things are alterable through lots of different ways. Psilocybin, datura, the alleys that he used through his spirit walks, meditation, finding the right spot to meditate in is key to it as well. And part of that whole journey really spoke to me about energy points on the earth. And I don't know, you should read those Castaneda books, guys, if you never have. The Carlos Castaneda books, just dig in deep. There's a lot of stuff in there that's really tied to what we're talking about. Oh, wait, here we go. Walnut answered me. It says, while dreaming, we drift. Tethered. Dreams are real, but distorted to fit our reality. Our rationality when we awake. The book, the third eye. Is that the name of it? Most likely I read that many years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give those a read.
Yep, exactly. Daz talking about the fingers in the hand. Castaneda talked about focusing on your hand when dreaming to master the lucid state. Lock in on 5 fingers was the key, he said. AI art, like dreams, has trouble with the number of fingers. Indeed. Words are also good. Like if you are in what you can think might be a dream, pick up a book if there's one hand and try to read it. Or even better, look at a clock face.
Yeah.
Which isn't around much like it used to be when I first learned that. Truly used to, every house had a clock on the wall with a clock face on it. Now it's usually your phone or at best an alarm clock beside the bed. But yeah, when we all had clocks on the wall, that was a good key, was looking at a clock, because usually that would be all off and not right. Because again, the unconscious doesn't render those things quite as well in the dream state.
Have you ever noticed how when you're in a dream and you become lucid, all of a sudden it's not like something in the dream will happen, and you turn to that lucid state where now I can fly and I know I'm dreaming, but I still never remember. I remember that part. That becomes like
but what got you there, right?
Exactly. What happened that triggered that?
Yep. That's the key,
never
dude.
remember
when you
that
figured
part.
that out, you are now a lucid dreamer.
Yeah.
When you learn that, it's a muscle. It's just like the psychic muscle or the intuition muscle or the empathy muscle or any of these muscles that are spiritual muscles that are part of our subtle body, not the physical body, that with exercise and repeated use can become quite strong and powerful and easy to will. But with society completely making you utterly ignore those muscles, they atrophy. Most average, whatever, on a sheet, whatever you want to call them, that's the problem, is they've atrophied all that stuff off to where it's not even tickling their unconscious. That gut feeling to them is just a little indigestion. Where's some Pepto? They don't know what's going on. So that exercising those things can, like you said, boom, it happens and you're there. Sometimes I go in with the intention of having it. It's been a long time since I've probably since the early days of the attacks of Flat Earth, when I was getting just left and right attacks, when I had to really gird myself and deal with a lot of shit in my sleep world and began to, really fend it off. And that's when the attacks started going out into other people in my life. Anyway, probably since then, since I sat down, prepared for a night of lucid dreaming, to do it intentionally. Now, I prep for war every night when I go to sleep. That's just part of it, because I know it's coming one way or the other. Or it won't. I'll have a peaceful night, or I won't remember it, and that feels like a peaceful night. Regardless, I do preparations when I go to bed, but the actual prep to do some lucid dreaming intentionally is a whole different thing. That usually takes about a week of getting ready, getting things ready. My inner power, my saving up some of that power that I spend quite often in really silly ways, in life, just in general. So it's a lot of prep, a lot of dream journaling going up to it. That's key. Keeping a book right next to the bed with a pencil in it, with the page ready to go. Don't have to even click a pen top, just go. Pick up that journal and start writing. As soon as you wake up, don't take a sip of water. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at the phone. Grab that book, write that dream down, because it goes away within 10 seconds. Literally. Not just, I can barely remember it. It will be gone within that first 10 to 15 seconds. So definitely with practice, that muscle, that memory muscle of bringing that back with you is key. Those hands, look at those. One of the ones I learned was write a C, just because that was a good, easy letter, consciousness, whatever. A C in your palm of your hand. Daytime, real life. Write that now with a marker. Keep it there. Look at it throughout the day. Because then you got a double test when you look at your hand in your dream. You've got the hand and you got that letter you wrote in it. And if none of that's right, when you look at your hand in your dream, then you can go, oh, hell, I'm in a dream, and start being lucid.
And ask yourself, through your waking day, as you look at that C on your hand, say, am I asleep or am I awake? And let your brain try to make that decision. Like, okay, now I am awake. And soon it'll start to say, nope, now I am asleep. So when you look to verify, ask yourself, am I asleep or am I awake?
So would you say maybe possibly some of these dreams, that you do remember are something a little bit different? Like I consider it more of a premonition. My tidal wave tsunami dream along the East Coast. I don't know what it is about that dream that I had. I didn't fly. It wasn't anything, but I remember it like it happened 10 seconds ago. I can close my eyes and see my mom and my little brother standing there on the beach. I can, see the day that's happening. Everything is still there. It's weird. Like some dreams, 99% of my dreams come and go, like you said, Walt. They're there for about 10, 15 seconds, and then they're gone. You have one other thought. Oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, the light's coming up out. The sun, there's the sun popping up. No, gone. Dream's gone. But some of them, they stay with you. What do you think those are?
I had a dream, and I was probably 6. And I can remember the details of that dream as if it happened yesterday. In the dream, me to tell you the dream would just be weird, and you wouldn't understand any of it or the people involved, so me telling you the dream doesn't matter. But the fact that dream, and there's others before that's one that I can remember vaguely, but that dream, let me think, we moved in that trailer, and I may have been 5, because we moved in that trailer when I was 4, and I know we'd been living there long enough for me to go back and forth to that trailer in the dream state, but not in school. I hadn't started school yet, so it was between 4 and 6, so probably 5. And I had this dream that involved people in my life that I knew, and I knew it was real. Just all these things I knew about it that let me know that was no doubt not a normal existence type thing. And I've kept that feeling, that memory, that whole experience inside me since that age. And I'm an old fucking dude now, 50 years ago, actually. So, yeah, I don't doubt that there are things that we touch that are very important, very, whether they're prophetic or not, I can't say. Now, have I had dreams that foretold things that came to pass? Certainly. like specific 100% occurred like as I dreamed, but it passed. It came to. Oops, sorry, she's over. She's done. She said, hey, and she's gone. But anyway, that's the whole thing to me is part of what this place is that there are so many, to me anyway, I think, there's so many, most likely, convolutions, folds, ripples in time, if you will, wrinkles in time. There's so many things that could have been talking to us in these dreams you're talking about. Will this place get washed over with giant walls of water? Most likely. It's happened in the past. We have those stories. Are you going to be around for it? I don't know. Will I be around for it? I don't know. The situation I dreamed specifically about that wall of water coming in the distance, and I'm seeing it, won't happen now. I know, because the situation that I dreamed it happened in is no longer my life situation. How do I explain that? Well, I'll just tell you. In that dream, I was married still. My son was young, infant, almost, not quite 2. And the wall was coming. And I was at the time separated from my wife. And so I was at that house trying to get them out of that house and get my son to safety. If I could get her to safety, that was a bonus. But I was trying to get my child to safety in that dream. There was no doubt. And I had to swim into the house. That's where we were at that point in the dream. So that's not going to be my future, because we're not going to get married again, and he's not going back in time to be an infant again, and we're not going to be in that house again. So those specifics aren't going to happen. Will there be a giant wave? Don't know. It's happened before. It most likely will happen again. Will I be around for it? I don't know. What can I do about it? Not a dang thing. So I'm just going to live my life and not sweat it. I used to sweat it quite a bit. Like, oh man, did I have a lot of deep rabbit holes with prophetic stuff and, end time prophecies and all that stuff. Went down many a rabbit hole. Of course, that was also being fed by the NBC Ancient Prophecy series at the time. So
X-Files.
Add that to it. Right. Add that to it like you will, I guess.
I was talking with somebody about X-Files. Oh, Jana. She was over yesterday. Bless her heart. I love Jana. She will be, a lot of you know her as Jay in chat, just Jay. But she's a great, great friend to both Cammy and I. She's just a great person. I even forget where I was going with it now. I'm sorry. I forget what you were saying, Walter, and what she was saying, and what I was thinking of. Oh,
it's all good, man. It's all good. And I'm playing catch up in chat, so I've lost my thread as well. But just, yeah, man, dreaming is a lot. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of different things. It's not just one experience. I think it's frequency and your vibration, I think, is a key to how you dream and where you go physically or spiritually or whatever when you dream. I think, there's times it's simply download of information. There's times it's, a literal fight with literal entities. Sometimes it is a spiritual fight with ideas, almost, if you will. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody at all, but that thing they say, well, you just go to bed with a problem and pray on it and you'll wake up with the answer. Well, I find myself wrestling with those answers at night, truly, literally working through them and fighting myself with them. Is that me? I don't know. I'm probably talking crazy shit. But anyway, yeah, that realm is just another place we go to. Is as real as this, if not more real than this. This might be the dream after all, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just a crazy conspiracy dude.
Very interesting thought.
What about like a memory of a past relative? Or maybe not even a past relative, maybe just a memory that's up there in the ether. You know, I'm learning more and more with all these frequencies and this and that we are all connected. And if somebody is sending a frequency out at a certain frequency and you are tuned into that frequency, I don't know, maybe you're seeing someone's memory or someone's thought, or I don't know. This place is so wild. It really is. And as much as, you know, we put ourselves as being different than the plants or the other animals or the minerals, I mean, everything here is alive and connected. Everything. Just Jack and family came over yesterday, and Jack and I were talking about this. Everything is connected. There is, you know, nothing in this place that can't interact instantly with something else in this place when you have those right frequencies. You know, it's no different than tuning a radio to another channel almost. You hit that, you know, if you're not on the frequency, it's static, and, you know, you don't see the image, you don't hear it, you're not getting it. But when you tune in to that perfect frequency and you guys are resonating together, that's when that magic happens. And I don't even know if we really fully explain it or comprehend it. How you all can hear me right now. You know, we've been doing it our whole lives, but have we ever stopped to really think, how does this happen? There's no wire connecting this phone to any of your devices that you're listening to. You know, there are no wires in between us. I'm holding my phone in my hand with no wires on it. How is this sound, you know, breaking down, turning into nothing? Just, we don't see it anymore. Once it goes into my phone, it's not like it's coming out and I can see any of it, but you're still getting it word for word, exactly what I'm saying in time. I know we're using machines to do this, but everything these machines are doing, it's nowhere near as advanced as our human bodies. I mean, have we always had these capabilities to do this without these devices? You know, these frequencies are real. We put them off. Our frequencies change, like tuning a radio.
Shout out to Kerry Woolley with the Queen reference. All we hear is Radio Gaga. Radio Goo Goo.
So many questions. So, you know, and we could be all walking around like children that can't actually speak. Imagine that. Never learn to actually communicate. Still, we have this amazing ability just in our heads. We don't need to hook it to a machine.
Damn it.
Sorry, Walter.
Oh, I'm not muted. I'm sorry. I just read something that upset me in chat. I'll tell you in a minute. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, before we had all these I mean, I don't remember a time before a telephone. I don't know how old telephones actually go back and all that stuff. You know, from what I've learned about history is that you don't know.
Right.
It's someone's story.
I remember my grandmother and them having the party line. That's about the oldest phone thing I can remember. where you literally would have to pick it up and see if somebody else was talking to somebody else before you could use it. No, what I read that upset me is Zombie Snoop asking, Josh, do you remember the show night Bob was on talking about death and the veil of forgetfulness? Can we get that re-uploaded?
Yeah, I was
So
trying.
my plan this week was actually to go back and pull all the Bob shows just to make sure I had them somewhere. And so now you've already let me know they pulled one that we don't have up. That's why I was upset and made that awful word happen on the air. Liz, I'm sorry.
I don't know that it's not there.
Oh, well, I just assumed he looked for it and it wasn't when he asked for it to be re-uploaded. But I can definitely go see today. That was kind of going to be part of what I was doing, was getting those shows to make sure they were in my safekeeping.
And how do you find them? Because they're not all going to be titled as
Yeah, I
having
know.
Bob. And that's where the
I
captions
know
come
a
in.
lot of those are going to be when I was not there, when I was in Oregon. So that's going to be an easy help place,
True.
point for me. Just the time frame, kind of to when to look. And then I kind of can remember when Bob was on too, because like I said, he and I had quite a few interesting conversations about this very topic. So I definitely want to go get those. So I may have been assuming it's not there. It may be, and you just want us to re-upload it so it's handy. I could have misunderstood that completely.
Jess in chat saying she asked on Saturday out loud. We had talked about this earlier, about other people doing the exact same thing, asking Bob what he sees, what he's experienced, what's going on. Send a sign. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Not for nothing, we made it past the halfway mark. You never know it because we aren't doing breaks, but it is 10 minutes past the hour.
Yeah. Same here, JG. I've been speaking out loud to Bob quite a bit these last few days, just when I have a question or something. Yeah. Instead of just saying it in my head, I'll be sitting out here in the garage or something by myself, and I'll be like, what do you think about that one, Bobo? Give me a sign. What's going on here? Because, yeah, it's always going to be there to talk to still. I've been so blessed these last 5 years to be able to have access to Bob Nodell whenever I wanted with any question that I ever had. He was always willing to sit and have a conversation. Always. Bob was never too busy to, talking about sports or some nonsense like that. Yeah, no, but serious question about anything. Bob always had time. Always had time for me. No matter what it was. And it wasn't like a yeah or no. And, that was his answer. It would usually start off, well, Zach, here, let me tell you what I think. And then, that was the start of a lot of amazing conversations. And I can't just stop asking Bob questions. I've been asking the man questions for 5 years. Just every question that pops into my head, one of my things is, I'll go run that by Bob, see what he thinks. It's not going to just stop. I can't just turn that off. And, I don't know. Yeah, I'll always be asking Bob what he thinks. Yeah, that's just, big, huge part of my life and my development as a soul, really. Not just this living body and the thing, just, I've grown so much listening and contemplating on things that I've learned from Bob. I am so blessed and just honored that I was, got to be a part of his journey. Yeah, it was. Sorry, Walter. I'm just.
Go, brother. You go.
Oh, there's Sherry Ives in chat. Yes, Sherry, we had the chart up earlier.
Yeah, we did. That was amazing, Sherry. Thank you for sharing that with us. I was going to read what Walking Axel there in chat had written. We don't just live and die and done. That's what they want us to believe. I've seen too much. I'll be 60 in 9 days. 60 and 9. I hear you, Axel. I concur. That is definitely something they seem to want to drive home, that this is it. You better do what you got to do and get it over, because they definitely don't want us to think we continue on. And as I constantly speak with my mother, who's constantly around, yeah, there's no doubt that we don't stop.
No, there is no stopping energy. You can transform it, but there is no stopping energy. It doesn't work that way. I see Bill Wall in chat saying I should ask Austin. I mean, I love Austin. Don't get me wrong, Bill, but Austin still has quite a bit to learn about a lot of this stuff. You would be shocked how often Austin was calling Bob and I and asking about, hey, how does this work? How does that work? Now, the stuff Austin does know, he knows it inside and out, backwards, forwards, upside down. He can probably say it in like 5 different languages. For what the stuff that he does know and he comprehends, he gets it. But no, it's
the years.
Yeah,
it's the wisdom that Bob
hasn't
carries.
Yeah, he hasn't had the time to acquire the knowledge that Bob has. Witsit is brilliant, so brilliant, but Bob just has decades and decades of research on him. Where Witsit, I could see Witsit reaching that level, but I won't ever in my lifetime. Bob's got too many years on me. I started way too late. I mean, I remember the first time I ever spoke to Bob, he was talking about setting up the microwave transmission lines they were doing. And it was like all in Greek to me. I mean, I didn't understand a word the guy was saying. Frequency, and this was years ago, before, this was FE Core when
it's like early FE Core.
Yeah. The first time I actually spoke with Bob. And he was trying to explain to me how, well, it's not really that complicated and this and that, but yeah, he was speaking a different language. I was not anywhere near what I am today. And I was still nowhere near where Bob was then. Yeah, just the amount of knowledge that man obtained in his brain is insane. I mean, ham radio operator at like the highest level you can get at like age 13, 14. He was one of the guy pilot's license, very young age. I mean, he lived such a full life. I mean, he was setting up all these cell phones and stuff like that we're using. We're getting to use them because of people like Bob. He was up there setting up the towers. He just has way too much experience.
The fact that Bob could tell you exactly what that just said in Morse code blew my mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just spit it out. Yep. Yeah, he was unlike anyone I've ever met in my life so far. And then you throw the tenacity of truth seeking on top of that.
I know everybody saw Bob in a lot of different chats and this and that, but Bob was even there when he wasn't chatting. I mean, Bob lived truth. He did. I very, very rarely, was Bob watching entertainment if he wasn't with Cammy, having like a movie night or something like that. There was no Bob just sitting there, watching cartoons. It was always something about something that he was learning or wanted to teach, or 24/7. That was Bob. Knowledge. He was seeking knowledge and truth that he could share with people. For the last 5 years that I've known him, that's what Bob does. It was all about seeking knowledge to share with others.
Yeah, I never got to meet Bob, but I did have the wonderful pleasure of speaking with him for a while on Crumb's stream when Crumb was asking me about electricity, and Bob wasn't expected to hop in, but when he did, I had to sit down, shut up, listen, and learn, and I learned a lot during that time. So I do appreciate Bob for everything he's done. He's a legend and will be missed very much. He'll go down in history.
I mean, it's inevitable he'll go down in history, somebody who made as big an impact. I was just kind of playing catch up in chat, and I saw Jess there. JG, I've never been so sad over someone I've never met. And while we all got to know Bob through the medium here, I never got that hug that I needed to get so badly. I'll get it one day. I know that, but I've yet to have someone that I haven't physically touched, I guess is a better way to say it, maybe, affect me that way. I was trying to think, and it's going to sound silly when I say it, but it's a true statement. I have not been as upset about the passing of someone I didn't physically know since Elvis passed when I was like 8, and that tore my world apart because, like Bob, I grew up with that inundating my life. Every relative I knew was a fan. Every relative I knew had the records. We all listened to it in groups as we were at the house. We would sing the songs, we would share in that experience of that energy being gifted to us by this individual. Now, say what you will about the industry, I know, blah, blah, blah. But the energy from those songs was palpable, as was the energy from Bob. Now, whether you met him, whether you shook his hand, whether you got that hug or not, you still got all of that energy the same way. That's why it affected us so strongly, I believe, is that he was giving out those hugs with everything he was doing. Like Zach was just saying, truth was Bob's life. That was his path. That was his passion. And so, even when he came here to hang out with us, it was always a brain breaker, when it was just to hang out. When we didn't even have a plan or a topic, he would bring something to break my brain. I'd have to go down another rabbit hole. So, the energy of that smile. I keep thinking about that huge, huge smile. Oh, my goodness.
His voice is what's really...
I think I heard Jaron talking about this on his last stream. Bob was like 6'6" or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, he was a
6'5",
mighty man.
6'5".
Oh, wow! I did not know he was that tall.
Oh yeah, big guy.
Wow.
Like you almost had to look up to Bob. You didn't have a choice. Yeah, you didn't have a choice. If you were speaking to him, you were most likely looking up at him. Yeah. I mean, his size matched his attitude, his internet presence fit his size perfectly. Big guy, just carried himself well, and he spoke, not just speaking, but like
when you're talking to him, you know he's telling you the truth. There was no deception behind his eyes. You know, like when you're talking to someone, you just have this weird feeling like, well, that doesn't, it just kind of looked like you were telling a story there. I never got that feeling from Bob. The dog with the shifty eyes. I never saw that. It was never there. Bob wasn't scared to tell people the truth. That was that love in him that was just, you know, a friend will tell you what you want to hear. A really good friend will tell you what you need to hear. And Bob would tell you what you need to hear. He didn't hold back. You can ask Cammie about that. If Cammie didn't like something, or if Bob didn't like something that Cammie cooked, Bob told Cammie.
And I think that speaks to a lot of this too, Zach, is the realness of everybody's interactions with Bob. It never came across as anything but honest, real truth, you know. And it was felt. It was felt, you know, and I don't want anybody to understand me. I got upset when other people that passed that we've known in the community, you know, Mac and
Bob and
freaking Bob Skiba. I mean, come on. You know, but for me to actually cry for the hours I cried and have still brought to tears this morning about someone, it hasn't, you know, that I didn't physically know. It was incredible. When all this started Thursday night, when Zach sent the text, you know, was too shocked, I guess, too stunned. And then when it finally hit home late Friday night, it hit, you know, like hit big time. And it just shockingly hit hard, you know. And again, we know you all so well, you know, through Zach, through Cammie. But we've gotten to know Jaron playing with him on the game so often that, you know, maybe that's part of it. I don't know, just the connection with their family. They are family
to this house.
They are family. Yeah, y'all are family, and it definitely hit home.
I love that. Cammie says, I appreciate it because when he complimented her cooking, she knew that he meant it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
There you go, right?
You knew when Bob was giving you a compliment that, yeah, he absolutely meant it, that there was no...
blowing smoke.
Yeah, Bob didn't blow smoke, like ever.
Up your ass, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there was none of that. Yeah. Yeah, Cammie's in chat. She must have heard that. Yeah, she said she appreciated that about him. I knew when he complimented that he meant it. Yeah, absolutely. Bob did not. He wasn't there to, you know, pamper your feelings or this and that and say, you know, nice try. Nope, this doesn't taste good here.
Liz just asked in chat, does Jaron whoop our asses? You have no idea.
Oh, my goodness.
Liz, what that dude can do in that game.
I wouldn't play the game if I had to play against people like Jaron.
If I was playing against him, yeah, I wouldn't be playing.
No, we just follow Jaron around and pick up his scraps pretty much.
Get some crowns behind Jaron. How many crowns you got? Wait, how many times have I played with Jaron? Okay, that's how many crowns.
And Nemo's in chat saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah. These young guys, man. That's why I'm telling Jaron, you know, it'd be $1 million idea. Run it up the flagpole. They need age groups. Like all
How old
the
is Jaron? 18, 19? I'm not even sure.
I believe he's 19 now.
Okay, I thought he had a recent birthday.
He's gonna be turning 19. I know he's right around that age. Just
there we go.
It's not fair. These young guys. I mean, we need age group. We need age so us old timers have a chance to even like join a tournament. I've never joined a Fortnite tournament. Back in the day, I would have. But now these young guys, I mean, I went to the World Championships of Fortnite, right? They invited people from 27 different countries. Jaron took me. It was awesome. But one thing I noticed was out of the 100 people they invited from these 27 different countries, 90 of them were between the age of 13 and 17. They had one that was 21, and the rest were younger. So out of all the greatest people they could find in this game around the plane, not one was over 21 years old. That told me a lot right there. I was like, wait a minute, because I've been watching, there's professional video gamers that play, a lot of other games. But I'm starting to realize that the youngsters are the ones that have, the reflexes, the hand-eye coordination theirs is going up as ours is going down. So yeah, if you put in some age groups in there, you could triple the amount of tournaments that you could hold and this and that. And I just think I just want it because, it's not fair having to play against Jaren. Yeah, Bill Wall says it perfect in chat. Yep, entropy sucks.
Indeed, Bill. Indeed. Over on Roxanne Nuba wrote, I boycotted YouTube in 2017, then again in 2020, except for Bob and the Globebusters 24/7 feed. It was all I listened to or watched on the topic for years. I had it embedded on my homepage. A big loss, yet hopefully it can be used as a motivator for unity and progress. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Nuba. And we all, I say this probably generally, and I shouldn't, but for me, how about that? For me personally, as things have occurred in life and things, happened, I lost my mom in 2020 after a very horrible time with her, having to go through a lot of bad stuff. And in all of it, I wouldn't have traded 1 second of the laughter and the fun and would I've taken the pain away in a heartbeat? Would I've taken the illness away onto myself in a fucking instant? But because I couldn't do any of that, and because I couldn't beat death back again, as I had done it a few times with her, I just had to accept it and learn from that experience. And so as this experience happened, it relit that fire, that mom's passing had lit under me in my own self change, my own self evolution that needs to happen, over these last few days as this information has hit. It's hit me deep. And not only has it hit me deep, it's shown me a lot of things about my life that I want to change. It's shown me a lot of things about myself that I have to change. Like I have to change these things. And so while it is a sad thing, it's not a sad thing in like, oh no, it's a sad thing in that, we won't have Bob's smile for a while. We won't have Bob's energy for a while. We have the memories of it that's encoded in this fucking machine here, and we can share that, and we have the memories, and as long as we have those memories and share those stories with each other, he'll be here with us, and that energy won't go away. But if you take what's happened here and use it as a fire to transmute your own self and your own stuff, because you can't change the world. You can't save the world. You can't fix this fucking broken world. All you can do is fix yourself. So start there and use this as the impetus for that change.
You, Walter. Yes, beautifully said. Yeah, Bob wouldn't want us to sit around and dwell. He would want this to, springboard us all back into that gear we were back in 2016. Like, go, 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 go. Let's, we're not going to stop changing the world now. That wouldn't be, that wouldn't be what Bob wanted.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Bob was like a springboard for the rest of us to grow off of and to strive for something better than we can be.
Indeed. Indeed.
We've got about 25 minutes.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even looked at the clock. That's somebody else. Oh, man.
Well, I know one topic that Bob loved when it came to flat Earth shows and just having certain ideas, and Bob loved trivia. Bob loved trivia. I mean, when before you started this, Andrew, there's a trivia night every Monday night. I think it was Dottie. I forget who ran it, but Bob was always there. And he usually won. It was funny. And he had a thing where he didn't tell too many people this, but now I'll share one of his secrets. He did eventually, but yeah, he would set his speed thing on YouTube. Back in the day, you could run it and always have it at 2, even on a live stream. So you would always stay. It would never get backed up a little bit. So you would never be 10 seconds behind. So Bob always had it to where he was always caught up with what the person was saying, and he would hear the question before a lot of the other people even heard it.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was one of his little tricks that he taught. He's like, yeah, you just got to keep it fast forward all the time. And in that way, other people might just be hearing the question and you're already putting the answer in. Because there would always be people in chat, how's Bob got the answer in before we even hear the question? He's got to be cheating somehow.
Yeah, but speaking of trivia, before the stream started, I was telling you guys I just bought this conspiracy theory trivia game off of Amazon. It's got a whole bunch of questions on it, and I'm going to be bringing it to Las Vegas in October, and I'm going to be giving it away to somebody. Let everyone play it in the meantime.
Nice.
And here's a question I just came across. I'm looking at it right now. I have no idea about this. So this is an alien category. What event had blue lights twirling into the sky before disappearing into an apparent black hole? And there are 4 choices. The Tunguska event, the Norway spiral, the Chelyabinsk vortex, or the Henbury phenomenon.
The Norway spiral.
Yep,
that
B
one
is my guess.
Fucked me up when I saw that for the first time.
I've never heard of that before. That is correct. You guys got it.
Yeah, I didn't believe that either, Josh. When I saw it, I was like, no, that can't be real.
Mm-hmm.
That's AI or drones or something up there. There's no way that's real.
I've never heard of it. I got to look it up now.
And it was not so much the spiral, because apparently the spiraling action is pretty common for these rocket launches. It was the disappearing into the black hole that broke me.
Yeah.
Broke me. I just couldn't, at the time, and then this was probably, 15 years ago, and it just screwed with my brain.
So yeah, I just looked it up. So the Norwegian spiral anomaly of 2009 appeared in the night sky over Norway. It was visible from and photographed from northern Norway and Sweden. The spiral consisted of a blue beam of light with a grayish spiral emanating from one end of it. How had I not heard of that before?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we
really
even talked
big
about it earlier. Oh, go.
I was just saying that was really big in the Nibiru days.
Yep. Same here.
Real big. Yeah, that's where
This thing looks crazy.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember watching it spiral. I'm like, okay, and it disappears. I'm like, felt my stomach drop, and it was just, again, that very visceral reaction to watching that Norway spiral.
Oh no, they're coming.
Yeah, it was like that's the.
And I understood Blue Beam. I understood there were things out there, but that was just again not the vibe I got from that. So it could very well have been. It just really messed me up.
It made Nibiru a lot more like credible in my eyes back then.
Yeah.
You know?
It was the idea
it
of
could
seeing
definitely be
freaky
fake.
things in the sky, and then that happened.
Yeah. Yep. Walking Axle, Planet X, Nibiru.
Yeah.
Which
Elenin.
now when I think about it, remember back then they were saying you could only see it from like close to Antarctica, that it was coming from like underneath the Earth, like from the South Pole direction, and that's why nobody could see it in the sky, but they were all looking for it and yada 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 yada. Now when you think about it, okay, that's just light coming from the outer space, the outer realm coming towards us. You know,
you just flashed me back to all that research that I did during that period when there was some kind of video talking about the sun coming out of the ground somewhere in India. Like there's a place that people gather at a certain time of the year and they all wait and there comes the sun and it pops up out of the ground, fucking hole in the ground. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So I went down that rabbit hole for a long time. And then not long after that, didn't we have the video pop up of somebody had a video of Antarctica and there was a cave and they were playing around with like a planetoid of some sort looking like thing, like a moon, essentially. Am I just remembering too many crazy things I've watched over the years?
Sure about that one, Walter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a long line of people walking in Antarctica. Long line of like military-looking people walking, and then all of a sudden it cuts to inside a cave of ice, and they're playing with a fucking moon. Come on, somebody in chat has to remember that.
That wasn't that long ago either, was it, Walter? I'm trying to vaguely remember.
No, not too long ago. About maybe 5 years. Four at the most. 4 or 5, I mean, something like that.
Sounds vaguely.
Yeah, I remember the one with the helicopter film. They were like filming from a helicopter showing guys walking towards like this giant black spire looking thing.
Was that not part of the same?
That's the same footage. Yeah.
Yes, it was the same sequence of images.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember the moon part. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
If you find that, please send it to me because I've never been able to find it again.
What you got? Here's another one for you
Andrew?
guys.
Yeah, throw us another one.
Freaking weird.
I was gonna tell you. Oh God.
And if Karen is here, I'm sure she'll appreciate it. What popular food is also known to be one of Bigfoot's favorite snacks? First one is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Pop-Tarts, Hot Pockets, or Cheese Puffs.
I thought it was Jack's.
Slim Jims.
Oh, it was, Jack's Hot Links sausages.
It's none of those.
I would say peanut butter and jelly.
Okay. Was it Hot Pockets in the Harry and the Hendersons, maybe?
I don't know.
Well, what's the answer?
It's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, apparently.
Well, then that must have been it. Whatever was in that movie, I'm sure is what they're referencing.
You're talking about with John Lithgow,
Harry,
right?
Yeah.
And the Predator. That was the Predator that played Harry.
Yeah,
really?
Same guy.
Yeah, the same guy that played the Predator played that. He was a really tall actor. He passed away not long after that role, actually.
And he was like super athletic for me.
Yeah, Kevin Peter Hall was his name. I didn't even have to look it up. I pulled that out of my memory. He played another tall character, damn it. What was the other one? It was Predator, that, and something else. I'll have to look up the other role he was famous for. Now.
Did he do something in Alien?
He may have played one of the tall aliens in the second movie, but the guy in the first movie was from another country that was in the suit that Giger designed. Hang on. Let me see.
Oh, here's a fun one. I've never heard of this either. Project A119 planned on testing a nuclear weapon where? First one is in the Hollow Earth, in a salt mine outside of Chicago, on Antarctica, or on the moon.
On the moon.
Oh, I guess on the moon. That would be my guess.
That is correct.
Wow, that was just a guess.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that before. You
No.
can't test nuclear weapons on the moon, and those are both false. But
I was going to say, yeah, they didn't claim that they ever did that, did they?
I've never even heard of it before.
Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry. I'm not muted.
I knew
The
you
other
blew up.
role that I knew him for is just a personal thing for me. He was in Big Top Pee Wee, and nobody saw that movie except me, so it doesn't count.
I saw that movie.
He was the guy
saw
that
that
played.
movie.
He was the guy that played the farmer with the. In the end, when they turned it all into the big farm show, for the circus.
Yeah.
He played the big tall. He was the African American actor that played the big tall farmer. That's the Predator and Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, I've been watching some videos of guys talking about Andre the Giant and just how athletic that man was for being as big as he was.
Yeah, he was like 7'6", 505 pounds or something like that, right?
And
Something
we
like
didn't get to see him, like, or at least I didn't get to see him when he was like young and in his prime. When he got to WWE in the 80s, he was older. He had trouble just walking back then. But he used to be like a super athlete. And they say his strength, even when he was older, his strength never really diminished. Like, he could pick you up like you were a child. Like, he was just holding you like, a toddler almost. He said it was that, Jake the Snake was saying it was that easy for him to just manhandle you. And he would drink like a case of beer from the airport to the hotel.
Yes,
Like,
a lot of people are
hold the beer and his fingers would be closed. His thumb and his first two fingers, he'd wrap his whole hand around a beer can and drink it all down just like it was nothing.
He actually has the unofficial world record for drinking the most beers in one sitting.
I don't doubt that at all.
Because even like Vince McMahon would talk about him, and he would say that when he would like get ready for a match, he would drink a case of wine, like 12 bottles of wine before it, and then he would go back and drink like another case of wine and then like 45 more beers.
Just like it was nothing. Like, yeah, they're like, he's like, what do you want? Jake the Snake would go into the liquor store for him. Getting in and out of the car was a chore. And he's like, 2 cases. Like, Andre, we're just going, We're going to be at the bar in like 20 minutes. 2 cases. And he'd be like, okay, I'll get 2 cases and then I'll just have a couple of Andres. No, I guess it didn't work that way.
A couple of Andres?
Yeah, he's like, nope, you go get your own beer. This is my 2 cases. Yeah, the guy could. Man, I couldn't even imagine. It's like holding those little tiny fruit. You remember those old like pineapple juice from back in the day? They had the real skinny cans with the tear tab on top.
Yep.
That was that Donald Duck orange juice.
Yeah, that's what it would feel like almost. Holding, but instead it's a 12-ounce can. But that's what it was like in his hand, just a little tiny nothing. Just a huge, huge guy.
Yeah, I don't remember who was talking about it. I was watching a documentary about Andre the Giant and one of his wrestling colleagues, and they said that they were at a bar with him, like after one of the wrestling matches, and they watched him drink like 126 beers.
Jeez.
Yeah, that would kill. Like, most people would die halfway through that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even, no way.
And I don't even think he died of, like, anything to do with alcohol. I think it was something else.
Yeah, well, he had that giantism,
where he just kept growing. And the wear and tear that puts on everything in your body. We were talking about that. You don't see a whole lot of, somebody was talking about this on Jaron's show Friday. You don't see a lot of real, big, tall guys living into like their 80s, 90s. You just don't. Yeah, it's hard on the body getting that big in this
the
realm.
tallest man in the world was 8'11", I believe, and he died when he was like 26. And I've looked this up. Yeah, gigantism, I think, is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's something to do. There's actually a surgery that you can get, like a brain surgery, where it can stop that from happening. But they didn't figure out how to do that until not too recently.
Yeah, I still wouldn't. I don't know if I'd trust them messing with my brain.
Right.
I was watching a documentary. Lobotomies were legal up until the 70s.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And it was done for like all kinds of things. It wasn't just the crazy people and the thing. It was done for for homosexuality. For like all kind. If there was somebody that was like a criminal or this or that, and they were, erratic behavior. Oh, I'm just going to stick this 8-inch nail up your nose and spike it into your brain somewhere and see what happens. And that guy won a Nobel Prize.
Ever seen the movie Sucker Punch?
I don't think so.
You probably like it, Zach.
No.
Go watch that today. Put Locker. Sucker Punch.
Okay.
Put it on the big screen. Phenomenal cinematography. All right, I got to throw this out there. Y'all made me think about it. I have to do it.
You'll be dead. No more rhymes now. I mean it. Anybody want a peanut?
Anybody want a peanut?
Anybody want a peanut? That's my favorite.
Inconceivable.
Just the smile on his face, the joy he
I know,
gets from
right?
rhyming.
The joy. I know.
When he's getting
My
ready
way
to
is
fight.
not very sportsmanlike, right?
I could kill you now. We fight as God intended, like man.
Hello, lady.
Great movie. Just a great movie. That's one I haven't seen in a while.
Right.
Princess Bride. My name is Vigo Montoya.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time either.
And that's one of those. Yeah. Cammie and I were talking about this. There's timeless movies out there. And then there's those movies you go back and watch and you're like, what is this? This isn't the same. This isn't what I remember this. You see them and it's been 20 years since you've seen it. You were a child when you saw it. Monster Squad comes to mind for me. Greatest movie when I was young. And now I watch it and it's like one of the worst B movies I've ever seen.
Wow. How recently did you watch it?
It's been a while.
Oh, okay. Because I pulled it up maybe about a year ago and did the same thing. To me, that was one of the best movies I ever saw growing up. And now all I see is the knockoff Frankenstein and the knockoff Dracula. And they can't quite do it because of copyright and all that crap. Yeah. But when I was a kid, it was excellent. Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite movies that most people have probably never seen if they're younger than me, and I swear this is one of the greatest movies ever made, is The Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, that's a great.
Never-ending story.
Alcor.
I have a picture I took of Alcor in the sky when I was doing my sun photography out on the beach. I'll show you. Hang on.
You've got pictures of dragons in the sky?
Doesn't everybody?
We've had at least one person emailing us pictures of dragons in the sky. Yeah.
Castles made of sand.
So we got about a 6-minute warning going on here.
Beep 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 beep.
Science tells us that the sun is 93.
What is that? That is Falcor.
Falcor headed for the sun.
Wow, that's awesome, Walter. What is that?
It's a fucking cloud formation that looks like Falcor that I just happened to catch.
That is awesome. Who's on it? Is it Atreyu on that?
I don't know. The sun does pass through it eventually, though. Look, right about there. Oh, I forgot I'm doing the fast forwarding myself in the camera. I mean, on the video. Boy, this was the early day. There we go. The magic of cinematography. Here it goes through the cloud. Through the cloud, right there. Watch. Through the cloud. Through the cloud. Anyway, I was playing around showing the sun shining through a chemtrail and shining through a cloud formation and all that. This was like the first couple of months of figuring out everything when we were still going, oh, the sun, that's 3,000 miles away, right? Mathematically. And I'm like, well, how's it touching the fucking clouds then if it's that far away? Anyway. But yeah, Falcor.
Oh, Sarah G in chat. Time Bandits. Another great
movie. Excellent movie. I actually have that in my list to watch.
Dude,
I envy your first watching.
Oh, man. Yeah. You're going to love it, Andrew.
I'm looking it up right now.
I envy you your first watching. That is such an amazing movie.
Just the cover of the VHS shows a grid in the sky.
I used to have that map on my backdrop on my computer for about 8 or 9 months after I watched it the last time, because there's a lot of stuff that looks very flat earthy on there.
Oh, they travel. Remember when they run into the? Well, I'm not going to.
Don't mess it up for Andrew. Right? I'm
looking at it right now. It says a young boy accidentally joins a band of time-traveling dwarves as they jump from era to era, looking for treasure to steal.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty freaking amazing.
It's got Sean Connery in it. Wow.
It's got all kind of amazing people.
Yeah,
in it,
a lot of famous people in it. A lot of them. It's even got
great.
Oh, who was Robin Hood?
Cleese. Yeah, there's a lot of the Monty Python. Well, that's who directed. I mean, one of the Python guys directed it. Terry Gilliam directed it. It's one of his greatest movies. I would say between that and Brazil are my two favorites of his.
I'm going to download it right now.
Such an awesome movie, man. I'm envious that you get to watch this.
I know. I'm so like, oh wow, I'd love to be seeing that for the first time again.
But yeah, a lot of ancient world, flat Earth references in it for sure. And I would love to take a look at that map.
Ooh, I can download it right now.
I was going to say, you look it up, it's pretty much easy to find. There was even, I found out the last time I tried to find a good one for my desktop, there was a release back in the probably, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s on DVD of it that had that map as part of its included crap. I'm like, if I'd have known that, I'd have had that in my hand. I missed it.
All right, James, looks like we have to wrap this up.
All right, if we have to. I don't want to.
I did, a few minutes ago, run a little loop of Harris, who is the newest addition to our little band of animals here. He's the second rabbit. We had gotten Benny after we had Binks, because we were going to try to get Binks and Benny bonded together. And then on New Year's, Binks passed, and I'd say a couple months later, Dixie kind of fell in love with Harris, and we picked up Harris, and we've had Harris here. But again, because Binks was such a hard loss for me, it's just haven't really talked about it a whole lot, and just the idea and the feeling of replacing Binks, and I don't know, it was a whole thing. But then I got to the point where I realized I had forgotten that I just never told anybody, audience-wise, show-wise, that we had that second bunny rabbit. So I made reference to her to him last week, Jesus. And I was like, I didn't know you had a second rabbit, and I think there was a couple. Two rabbits? So I just wanted to clear that up because I felt bad not having shared earlier. And then for those of you keeping score, I think we can finally cross off all my insurance stuff, and the age of the Ford Edge is officially closed. And yesterday started the age of the Kia Sportage. So I am now mobile again, or mobile, if you want to pronounce it that way, or if you're Australia, maybe it's a mobile. But I actually have wheels now, so that's exciting.
I'm excited for you, man.
And it's just a matter of time now. I'm driving in the test drive yesterday. Dixie and I were talking about having to now schedule time off so we can get down to Louisiana.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I love
you
you
guys
all.
made up your minds yet if you're going to be coming to Vegas?
I had made up my mind, and now I don't know.
I'm going to kidnap them.
There you go. We're going to get hijacked. So, Shanghai. Oh, wait, that's probably not politically correct.
Yeah, you know me. I could be a lot more offensive. For me saying Shanghai, that's me being polite.
And folks in chat help me out. There was somebody in Southern California looking for a ride to Las Vegas. If anybody was headed that way, they were willing to pay gas. Was it Laura? Was it Walking Axle? I forget exactly who it was, but they said they were willing.
I don't remember.
Anybody that's going to fly should be willing to buy. And I don't think that meant plane tickets, but, you know, if they're driving.
Well,
should be
I'm
willing
driving
to
there
help
from
gas.
San Jose, California. So it's about a 9-hour drive for me, but I have to pass right by Los Angeles to get on I-15. So, yeah, I was thinking about offering that to people if they wanted to get a pickup or something.
There it is, Laura, right there. Yeah. Walking Axle in
There we
chat.
go.
I'm in
Connections.
SoCal. That's it.
Connections.
So there's at least one that I think would be willing to help pitch in and pay for gas.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Look at that.
Well, you know what they
Making
say, gas, never mind. Just being silly, y'all.
I do have to say to everybody out there, thank you all so much. The love and support
Love y'all.
in this household that's being felt this last weekend, and you know, everything. Thank you so much. It's made a very hard time for all of us here. Just, you know, we've been overwhelmed with the port. And we can't thank you enough. Thank you for Cammie. I know this was, you know, her life and, you know, her soulmate.
Yeah.
And the love that you all have been showing her and sharing her cannot be appreciated enough. You are all amazing, and this community is just a godsend. So thank you all for everything. I love you so much.
Love you, brother. Love you, Cammie. Love you, Jaron. Love you, Bob. Miss you, brother.
Truth.
Feeling that big hug and seeing that big smile all day.
Again, I can't help but think that's a voice you're going to hear around the house, at least in your head, you know, for a long, long time to come. Just that voice, I can't imagine it. It's one of those energies that just imprints. I can't help but think, and you're going to be able to hear him answer your questions when you ask.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love y'all.
Thank you, Andrew. Not
Yes.
just for today, but for everything, my friend. Thank you for all you've done for the community and the fun you brought with the game. And yeah, who knows? You never know. I may show up in Vegas and win that damn thing. It sounds like fun.
All right.
You guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. Be sure to join us again on Friday morning for more of the Ironworx right here on truthfrequencyradio.com, TFRlive.com, YouTube, D Live, Twitter, Facebook, all the usual places. Until then, you guys be good, be well. Remember that we do love you.